wheels again, taking me a little break before I head back. Um, I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. People gonna click on what they want to click on and listen to what they want to listen to, buy the shit they want to buy, so on and so forth. It is what it is. I just struggle with I just struggle with understanding some of it, and I don't get it. But I'll say this: some of these boxing channels, they like the house. Whether boxing is going good or bad, they're winning. The house and the house fighter. The house is always winning. These channels that tend to that like to stick into the gossip and the rumor and all of this shit. Whether boxing is going good or bad, they're winning. And now to see somehow that Terrence Crawford is the lesser of the men, or he's basically he's accepted some kind of slave situation. Crawford was always only going to get no more than 40%. What's good, bro? I just put two and two together the other day and followed your Modern King channel, figuring out who you were. So what's up, man? But the thing is this though, and then Al Heyman is doing brothers dirty, and he's a snake, and he's slime, and he's getting over on these brothers. All of this shit can't be true at the same time. But the thing is this: Crawford was always only going to get the best he probably was going to get was 40%. I mean, you didn't have to be a genius. You don't have to have any inside connections. You don't have to be talking to anybody on any back channels and shit. He was never going to do any better, much better than 35 to 40%. And he probably knew this, and that's why he was always just going to sit there and play a game of chicken. Who's going to blink first? Are they going to move on this? Are they going to give me a little bit better? But like I said, a few weeks ago, he went and got his ass in the gym, and if you were paying attention, you could see that he was getting ready to agree to whatever he could agree to. But the thing that kills me about black dudes and this black boxing shit, the thing that really kills me about this shit, and the most hypocritical shit out here that Josh Taylor just did all this hustling to become the undisputed junior welterweight champion, 140-pound champion. He now only has 2 of the 4 belts after his first defense of his undisputed championship status. He only has 2 of the 4. He relinquished 2 of them because nobody would make the fights. Now, I don't know if he got tripped up in the MTK thing when that got disbanded or whatever. When they shut down, he kind of had a co-promotional deal or whatever with Top Rank, but he was given mandatory opponents by the IBF maybe and the WBC, 2 of the 4. Nobody would pay for those fights. Top Rank didn't step forward to make those fights. And the only choice that he had to make was that he would relinquish his titles. And that's why now we have one dude, Alberto Puyo or whatever his name is. He picked up one of the belts in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And then Regis Prograis and somebody is getting ready to fight for the other one. Nobody said that Josh Taylor is a slave or Josh Taylor is nobody said anything negative about Josh Taylor. That's just the business. Same token, same situation. Yeah, Zepeda. I think that's what you just wrote. I can't see in this shadow. But they're getting ready to fight for the other 140-pound title because he relinquished it because nobody would make the fight. Same situation here with Crawford. Nobody stepped forward to pick up Crawford once he became a free agent. If the WBO would have come out and said, hey, here's your opponent, he would have been in the same situation. Some promoter would have had to bid on the fight, or there would have been a open bidding for the fight, nobody would have stepped forward to take it, and they would have been sitting here with nothing. That's the facts. They would have been sitting here with nothing, unless, maybe somebody would have taken a look at it, but I doubt it, because it didn't make any sense to do it. Now, the same time, the WBO is not sitting here messing around with the mandatory, because they'd like to see the way that they get their biggest cut is if the undisputed fight could get made. So they sitting back trying to play along, and we've been waiting this thing out, and now we got what we wanted. The fight has been at least been agreed to in principle. But now we're gonna sit here and criticize Spence-Crawford and whatever percentage or split that he's getting. That's all he was ever gonna get. And at the end of the day, he only had one move to make, and he made that move. And again, 100%, 75%, 50%, 35% of something is better than 100% of nothing. And that's what was on the table for the brother all along. So, if it's a win for him to get that he got a rematch in here, and I think both guys can activate the rematch, and then maybe in the second fight, the terms are even or whatever it is. He did the best that he could do with the leverage that he had. The only leverage that he had, really, was that he had the fourth belt, and the public was basically at this point where no other fight was really going to be commercially successful if they tried to take Spence in another direction at welterweight. He may have been able to do something above welterweight, or 154, or maybe middleweight or something. They threw the Canelo shit out there. He may have been able to go do something. All the nonchalant boss and Spence. I think I saw what you said, but yeah, he had no move to make at 147, so it became a wait. I'm gonna wait him out. But ultimately, he had to go earn some money. If he made $4 to $6 million or whatever it was against Porter, at a certain point in time, you can live off of that for, as long as you can. And then you got to go get what you can get. We don't even sit here as black people, some of these channels, we don't even sit here and be understanding of the facts and just be grateful that they made the fight. Whoever won the negotiation, we still get to fight on fight night. And like they always say, the ring is a truth machine. So whoever won the war of words, and whoever won the percentages and the splits and all of this shit, and the back end and the this and that, they get ready to go in here and touch each other up, hopefully, November 19th or whatever it is, and we all get what we get. And then just in defense of Al Heyman, just like any other sport, when your talent is or when the money that you can bring in or generate becomes less than the size of the headache that it is to deal with you, you become less of a priority. People quit calling, people quit making calls to you, or when the athlete goes to call the business people, they don't pick up the phone anymore. It's some of these guys that Heyman's been dealing with the last 6 years. He put most of them in great positions. Yeah, I'm with you. Can I see if I'm over? Maybe that's a little bit better. But yeah, you get involved with people. I put you on. I gave you a platform to fight on. You got some good paydays. If you went in here and jacked your money off, I can't do nothing. And now you can't win a fight. You can't make weight. You can't get in the champion. You can't get in. You aren't contender. You aren't that caliber to be a contender. Maybe you got to take a desperate fight. Whatever it is. Once the tables turn, I get to you when I can get to you. But to sit here and call Al Heyman whatever, Al Heyman has other mouths to feed. He has the future to think about. we as fans and media, new media, whatever this shit you want to consider yourself, you sit here and look at this shit as a fight by fight basis. Heyman and his people are sitting here looking at a Spence and what he can generate, and then you looking at what you gotta put into Frank Martin to help him be able to generate something. Then you gotta go over here and help this person, and then they got a lot of shit that they're juggling, and I assume that they do the best that they can with what they have to work with. We saw how things have fallen apart over at Fox, and it was really never any real help over there from Fox. Fox just came with their hand out. Here's a platform, and what can you do for us? That was basically what they gave them from the beginning, once they saw how much work boxing took. But yeah, we sit here. Josh Taylor then sat here and lost 2 of his 4 titles. We haven't heard a dude get on here and say shit about what kind of businessman he is or whether he's a boss or he isn't a boss. None of that shit. But Crawford sitting here vulnerable as hell, no real great numbers to help prop him up and give him any leverage and so on and so forth. And he had to agree. He had to concede. Nothing wrong with that. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, to sit on here and watch people click on this shit and to see the people that go in here and comment and tell somebody that they a liar and they full of shit instead of going and watching other channels, supporting other channels, I guess that's the game. Hey, let me get on out of here, get back home. Me and the bike over here gonna make our way back. I gotta go watch these football games after I finish getting this drink in. Enjoy your weekend, man. Let's get to November 19th and enjoy the fight. May the best man win. And hopefully it's an all-time classic. I think that's the one good thing about this. It didn't get to that 5 and 7 year mark where it's past due. And both of these guys should be motivated. It's a lot of incentive for them to go in there and put on a good performance, whether they do the rematch or not. I think it's a good animosity there, a good amount of animosity there. It's a good clash of styles. Spence and his size, his work rate, volume, his body punching and inside work, being more of a physical fighter. Crawford with the counter punching, some of his switching, taking some shots early on in fights, while he kind of figures out what to do. I don't think you can do that for 3 or 4 rounds with Spence. Crawford isn't a high work rate guy, so I'm wondering what we see. I'm excited, so I'm glad they made it or they're making it. Hopefully it gets announced this week. The lawyers do their thing with it and they can finalize this thing. Again, Wood, bite down boxing. Don't let them count you out. Pay me no mind. Sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace. You say, man, may the best man win, and hopefully watches the low blows. Yeah, I mean, I'm never a fan of any of the bullshit. Let me see what no venue, no. That's got to be the worst. I don't care who show up. A gang of weirdos, man. And that's the thing. To sit here and listen to some of these dudes, black owned, black this, black boxing, the black dollar. We don't need them. We don't need white people. That's the dumbest shit in the world. It's so stupid. I don't even know how you speak to it, but to sit here and think, it goes to show right there. If Terrence Crawford had another option and he didn't have to accept the deal that was in front of him, then why didn't he just go on and why didn't he just go name an opponent, or pick an opponent and do the shit in Omaha and get it over with? Why didn't he do that? Because people don't want to make money with their own money. You need funding. You need somebody. You need credit. You need business partners. You need relationships. Bo Mack and Bud Crawford, they're a trainer and a fighter. They're not world class businessmen closing and doing big deals and organizing a whole of. They don't specialize in all of that shit. So why go out here and try to do all of that shit and mess it all up? Sometimes you got to keep the main thing, and do it and stay in your lane and do what you can do. But to sit here and think, and some of we sit here and let some of these channels, you don't need white people, and you don't need you just black owned, black excellence, black this. Where's your first event that you organized? Where's your first fight that you put on? Where's your first fighter that you was there in that debut, paying them money that they haven't generated yet for 2 and 3 years? When have you done that? Where the fuck is your fight series where you got 10 events that you did with receipts for what you did? Where is that shit? You just like me, sitting here on a phone in your basement or out on your deck or in your car in a parking lot, hitting record and just worrying about yourself, paying your cell phone bill. That's the extent of your business. But you out here, it's funny, man. It's funny. It's funny. I'm gonna enjoy the fight, man. While the rest of you, yeah, right. Activist boxing. That's what it is. Activist boxing talk. Some of them ain't even gonna pay for the fight that we're gonna get. Some of them, and that's a whole different story. Let me get out of here. Bike over there looking all sexy with the new handlebar, the matching wheels and the bar tape, and you like, what the? I'm out of here, man. Enjoy your day. Peace.